Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to continue with our character here and we're going to be adding the final little things. Now, first of all, I'm going to go all the way up to my character. I'm going to turn the general wear and tear that we did for the character and see how that gives us a little bit of extra luminance, or in this case, shadows on the eyes. So that's cool, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's really helping my character. I'm losing some of those nice elements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask this with a white mask. And now I'm going to use my poly thing to get rid of the face from that mask. That way the wear and tear only affects the what's it called? All the suit without affecting my character. And see that looks really cool now. Nice. Now, I can see here that he has this sort of cut here. And so I want to show you how to do a little bit of a makeup for the characters in case we need them. And this is something that I do a lot for my female characters. And I don't do that much for the male characters, but it's going to help quite a bit. So I'm going to go all the way down here to the skin. And I'm actually going to close that folder. I'm going to create a new fill layer on top of this thing. I'm going to Control G this thing, and I'm going to call this makeup. Because I like to keep both of those things separate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to add a little bit more depth. You can see a little of green under the eyes, like the bags that we sometimes get when we don't sleep really well. So I'm going to grab this greenish color here. And this is going to be all color. We don't need any other element. I'm going to use my black mask here. Let's turn the symmetry on. I'm going to use my soft brush. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look for some sort of layer that gives me a nice looking element. So let's see, linear dodge, overlay. We definitely need to bring this down like that. So see that? Of course, that looks like he got punched in the face. But what we can do here is we can, of course, add a generator. Let's do let's do a fill instead of a generator. So we're going to do a fill. Use the clouds or noise. Any noise is fine. Like this black and white spots, and just multiply. And increase, of course, the scale, so it breaks it down like that. Now a little contrast, and then a filter. So add a filter, and we're gonna blur this thing a little bit. There we go. So again, that's gonna give us a little bit more definition. Now, there's a technique, makeup technique that girls use quite a bit. That it's called contouring, I believe. And what that means is they will put highlights and shadows on the high points and low points of their face to make their factions more prominent. And we can do that as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a fill layer. I'm going to use a brownish color like that. And I'm going to get rid of all of this. Wait, what did I press? Report. Reset UI. There we go. And we're gonna black mask this, and it's a really simple process. You're gonna place this shadow on the areas where you want to push things in. So for instance, down here, a little bit down here, and yeah, that's about it. It's usually there on the edges of the face. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna very aggressively blur this out. That, and then we're gonna go for like an overlay or something at low color to get that. See how that sharpens the whole faction quite a bit, so it makes his chin look a lot more prominent. I think that's a little bit too much, so we do want that, but not that much. Let's try like a linear touch. I'm not sure why it's not combining with other things. Maybe it is because it's outside of the mask. Let me try and move this guys in here. Yeah, that combines better. So I'm gonna work with this thing in here. So let's open this thing. Move this there, and move this there. There we go. So yeah, with linear dodge now, it should work a little bit better. And again, it's just to push the colors slightly closer to what we're expecting to have, because remember, he has a very sharp looking element there. Now for the scar, we're gonna add one little scar right there on the side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a fill layer. It's not gonna have color, or sorry, metal or normal. Height, yes. Rough, yes. Scatter, no. The color, it's gonna be the same as the skin. So let me turn this off and sample the skin. But it's gonna be slightly clearer because scars tend to be semi-transparent. So like that, we're gonna add a black mask, and now here's the trick. Let's turn this off. I'm gonna go here into my material, and I'm gonna check the height to a higher position because I want this to push outside of the boundaries, or not the boundaries, but I want this to push out into the surface of the character, right? So I'm gonna do that, and now with my brush, I can just paint where I want the scar to be. Now that's a very sad looking scar, that's horrible, but what we can do here is we can use a trick similar to what we did in ZBrush when we were sculpting. I'm gonna use my jaggedy dirt 1 brush, really small. I can see it goes from back here all the way to the front. So I'm gonna draw it like this. It's really sharp, it looks really sharp. Maybe it was like a shortcut, so I'm gonna go like extremely sharp like that. And of course, we're gonna change this into like, actually that one looks really good. What's that? PLGT, what was that? Is that a linear dodge? No, it's not linear dodge. Overlay should look good as well. And we're just gonna smooth this out a little bit so it's not as intense. And of course, the height we can also control so it's not that super intense, like that. Now the cool thing is the face is asymmetrical with that new addition, so that should give us a very cool looking character there. If you want to, I don't see any molds on the character, but you can use the same trick. Like if we just duplicate this thing, do a black layer again, or black mask, and just change this into like a dark color, you can very easily just place like little molds here and there. Molds usually are slightly irregular, so I like to use the dirt to place them. So I'm gonna keep this, see that? So that's just a variation on the skin that's gonna be really nice. Again, I don't see that the character has a lot of molds. Some people don't have a lot of molds. I do have a lot of them. So just be mindful about that. Like don't do it if it's not part of the character. And there we go. The character is looking really nice now. The next step is going to be to add the eyelashes here, because we're going to be painting the eyelashes in. Eyelashes are one of those things that it's really not worth it to you do haircuts for, because they look really weird. They look like they're pasted on top, and usually they're not super voluminous, and therefore we can get away with this kind of thing. He has very thick eyelashes, so that's going to be an interesting approach here, but it should be good. Other than that, look at this. It's pretty much looking really good, right? So I'm going to go here into my settings, and let's go to my Corsica Beach thing. Because again, I really like the way Corsica Beach makes the characters look. This is really nice. Oh yeah, the mouth. Let's continue with the mouth. That's actually super simple. So I'm gonna close this. Let's rename this makeup to mouth. And let's create a layer inside the mouth folder. Let's add a black mask and use our color selection to pick that thing right there and to pick the teeth. And then I'm gonna use a paint layer to grab this teeth that I'm missing and to get rid of everything else in case I have anything else selected. There we go. So at that point I should only have the mouth and the rest of the element. Now it's gonna be really difficult because we can't really get inside the mouth. What we can do is we can use the F1 to kind of look at the mouth here with the character, and also look at how the colors are looking here on the other side. So pretty much everything inside the mouth is gonna be a reddish, orangish, for instance this color, more saturated, definitely redder, pinkish kind of thing, and really, really glossy. So something like that. Did I? Looks like I did not select the mouth there. Let's go back here. Weird. Why is it not selected? Oh, you know what's happening? It could be like a. It seems that something else is actually painting the roof of the mouth. Here you can see due to the colors. So I need to figure out what it is. It's leather. Okay, so let's just go here to the leather and there we go. Free it from its prison. Cool. So let's go back here into the mouth. There we go. So that's the like pinkish color that we need for the tongue and everything. Again, it's not something that you're gonna see quite that much, so not such a big of a deal. I'm gonna duplicate this thing. I'm gonna give the teeth this yellowish, whitish color. They're not perfectly white, so you can see here that we got like a bone color for the teeth. That's good. In regards to the shine, teeth are usually not super shiny. They do get slightly dry in some areas. So I'm gonna lower this a little bit, and I do want to add a little bit of visual interest to the eyes. I don't want them to look dirty, but I do want to add a little bit of depth to them. So I'm going to use the same color here, just slightly darker, and use a generator. Let's use the curvature generator or dirt generator. There we go. Just so that there's a little bit of variation there. Let's do an overlay and lower this. Again, just so that they're not plain white. Now make sure that this thing, we're gonna add a black mask as well. And let's use this thing, or actually, this is just a color selection. Pick the teeth, and then we're gonna use a paint layer with my number 4 to paint that tooth there that's off. And there we go. So teeth, mouth, that's more than enough. That's good for us. If the character is gonna be opening his mouth quite a bit, then you can go up and on and do that a little bit better. But to be honest, again, it's such a small detail that it's really not that prominent. And for a 2K map where we're using a really little square for the roof of the mouth, that's good enough for us. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Again, in the next one, we're going to be working with the eyelashes, and then that's going to be pretty much it. Like, the textures are going to be done, and we're going to be able to go back into Maya, assemble everything, and start working on the final things, which are going to be the eyes, the hair cards, and the sword. So hang on tight, guys, and I'll see you back on the next video. Bye-bye.